Hey there, if you heard my last video, you are now well aware that when your insulin levels start to rise, when your body starts becoming resistant to insulin, that is basically the starting point of diabetes, right? But now the next natural question that comes to everybody's mind is what is causing those elevated insulin levels in the first place, right? So, a lot of times when we talk about diabetes, people have this notion that if it is in my genes, if you're anybody on your father's side, mother's side, has diabetes, you are bound to get it. So, that's not the case. Yes, it makes you a little more susceptible because, that's how your genetic build is. But more than your genes, the environment of the body has an effect, right? Now, how is the environment of the body made? It is made by the food that we consume. Yeah. So when we talk about food, again, another common, assumption that people have is only those who eat a lot of sweets end up getting diabetes, right? But like I explained to you in my last video, like glucose is the cause, correct? Glucose, when it starts to increase in the blood, that's when insulin comes in and the whole cycle continues. Correct? So now how is this glucose coming? It's not coming just from sweets. Glucose is going to come from any food that we eat. Okay, no matter what you eat, it has to get converted to glucose, and that is how the body gets its energy, right? So, in this, we have to understand what are the particular food groups that are increasing that blood glucose level very easily. Okay, so something that contributes the most to these increased blood glucose levels is carbohydrates. So carbohydrates are basically, your roti, rice, breads, pastas, almost everything that we eat, right? The majority of what we eat is carbohydrates. So this is something which is going to, increase the blood sugar levels, the blood glucose levels very, very quickly compared to protein and fats. Okay, proteins are broken down only when there's no availability of carbs, and fat is broken down last. Okay, when nothing else is available, fats will be broken down and it will form glucose. But since carbohydrates are the majority contributors, we must take a moment here and think what we are consuming throughout the day, right? So in the morning, you're going to have some poha, upma, or bread. This is going to have carbs. Lunch will be your roti, rice. Dinner again is some roti, rice. But in addition to this, what we end up doing is we end up feeling hungry every 2 to 3 hours, right? So in the middle, say around 11 a.m., around 4 p.m. or 6 p.m., we end up having some cup of tea or coffee or a small snack, wafers, biscuits, Maggie, or any kind of chaat or sandwich, right? So all of these things are, again going to spike up your glucose and insulin levels. So you understand that your body is not getting any rest. It is constantly in that mode where there is glucose in the body, insulin is constantly working, it's constantly going and knocking on those doors, which is frustrating the doorkeepers. Got it? This is how it is happening. And a lot of times, what is called healthy. So, say a lot of people go vegan, a lot of people go gluten free and assume whatever then they eat is healthy. But that's not the case. Like, if it still contains carbs, it is still going to do this and it is still going to have an effect on your insulin levels. Okay, so but what is the solution to this? Do we just stop eating carbs? No, that's not possible, right? So you have to understand that fasting insulin is one parameter, but along with this, the other parameters have to be checked. And you have to also understand the overall lifestyle of a person, the cultural beliefs, the physical activity. A lot of factors basically go into deciding this. Okay, that what kind of carbs, what quantity of carbs is okay for a particular person. So definitely a qualified nutritionist can help you out.